What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 3 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Thorgrim Old World campaign. So as we saw last time, Thorgrim's main stack moved northward to beat Grimgor and his ilk back and did destroy his entire faction within the few turns that we were up there, which was pretty good. Of course, we immediately had to turn upon the greenskins and not to sell our other armies short. Our newly arrived grudge settler stack did manage to take Stone Snake's hold here and is looking to help out in hunting down Dusty, the leader of this particular faction. Admittedly, this faction has still 6 settlements remaining, and we have rather limited time in which we need to turn back towards the Skaven here, who have cancelled their non-aggression pact with us and are thus planning an attack. And again, we did expect that to be so, but several of our locations, like Karaz-a-Karak, are not really defended, and we need to actually have our armies destroy those Skaven. Actually, I'm curious, how many territories does Clan Mordkin currently hold? 5. Now that's interesting, and the reason that it's interesting is that we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. I guess this must be a different Skaven faction? Huh. Well, I guess we're gonna have to see. But we gotta deal with Dusty as much as we can. First, I might try to ignore the Den of the Great Wolves just because it's rather far away and it's gonna be a place that we can't really defend very well. Kind of like the Blasted Expanse here. Oh, also, yeah, I once again forgot that Mads map. Well, I didn't forget this time, to be fair, and Throne Deep Brow with the Evergard in tow did get teleported to a random location. Now, that first time was gambling, and I guess the second time is going to be gambling as well, because we're going to end the turn and we're going to keep this, because he really needs to get back to Thorgrim. And who knows, maybe it'll gamble us back to our own territory? It's a possibility, right? I'm not entirely sure, actually, but I guess we'll find out. I really need the reductions on the Evergard, because right now they're costing us 1,000 gold per turn, and they'd be super cheap comparatively, or at least half price in Thorgrim's army instead. Anyway, in terms of what we gotta do this turn, I don't think there's any buildings to build. At the very least, we don't have the money to afford them. I did potentially want to get another lord up and running, just because they get super expensive later on, and we could start leveling one. The Defiant Demon Slayer might be a decent option, because we'll have to have somebody lead our Slayer Pirate and Goblin Hewer army, with probably a few other things mixed in, and especially since we don't seem to have... let me just see here. Do like another incisive Rune Lord, but yeah, we don't seem to have anything else that would be really, really critical. Once again, the Dowie Tactician is a solid generalist lord as well. Machinist, we could do that for the Grudge Settler Grudge Thrower army, a little bit of a Grudge Thrower heavy army, but it's not a crazy buff, and frankly, I'm still thinking that the Engineers with the range bonus, these guys, the Overseers, are probably better. Even if we discount the range, it's also speed, and that includes, that's included for artillery, I take it, and an additional 20 campaign movement range. These Overseers are just really, really good. So yeah, let's get that Demon Slayer up and running. At least for now. They're also the cheapest lords, so why not? Like so. It's going to be relatively costly, but we can make up for some of that once we have the Evergard back here. Alrighty, and I think we're okay. You know what we could also do? Let's name a couple of units while we're here. You, Grudge Throwers, can be stone with your name. They're not going to stay in this particular army because, well, Thorgrim's not going to have any artillery, but we'll put them in somewhere. And then Peak Gate Guard. We're going to rename you to Thorgrim's Grudgebearers. Oh, just fits. Yeah, okay, I was double checking whether I had spelled it correctly. And then you can be Kneecap Breakers. Like so. I'm going to have to probably put some regular hammers in this army, as we want to get another Trollhammer Grudge Settler Gyrocopter. And we don't have the capacity for more as yet. Well, actually, we do have for one, but anyway, we have to actually reach Nolan ground first. Anyway, I believe that's it for this turn, unless I'm mistaken. So we're going to skip. We're going to end the turn and proceed to try to hunt Dusty down. Alright, moment of truth. Did these guys... Okay, they didn't get teleported this time around. Good. We're going to move them here, and I guess... Alright, we're getting close now, so I think we can't risk the teleportation again. So we'll lose the Mads map this time around. Confederation. Oh, we were trading with the with that one unit. Okay, we got the mightiest fortress thing. It's going to be a long time before we reach that, so we don't really need to take a look at it. But the loss of the one faction means we can start trading with the western provinces, which is perfect. Drums are such a great unit for the dwarfs, especially the dwarf box formations, meaning pretty much the entire line will get the benefit of the drums. And things like the Slayer pirate army, for example, could really use the bonus armor. Yeah, alright, this is good. And hopefully we can be friends, and hopefully Jiao Ming doesn't get wiped out. He is trading with a lot of nearby factions, a lot of ogres, which, you know, makes sense for Jiao Ming, so yeah, that works. Anyway, let's get moving. Thorgrim, you will... Ooh, actually, maybe we should move you first. Alright, you're gonna go into ambush stance, I guess. And then... Oh, wow, that... Huh, you really can't travel very far like this, can you? Well, actually, nobody here can travel fast. Well, you know what? We can go down to Dogboy's camp. So, yeah, we'll go like this in ambush stance. We'll try to... there he is. I don't know why he backed off the first time when we tried this ambush thing last episode, but, well, maybe this time we can actually bait him into this. We should also double check the Lords and Heroes for traits. Still have the Dowie Tactician. This hasn't changed. We have the Doomseeker now, which I do like the extra speed. And Sharp Eye and Machinist still. Okay, what about Heroes? We only need to check the one, specifically the Runesmith. And nothing has changed yet. Oh, we got plenty of Runesmith capacity, though, so as soon as we have the money, we'll definitely get him in there. You guys can't get into any stands, sadly. I was hoping to pop you into Valea's will to get the public order here, because the place ain't too happy right now, but it is what it is. Alright, Thorgrim. What's the best way to do this? Okay, here's what we'll do. Joseph of Zorn. You know what, we can't risk underway stance, so we're just going to march down like this. And Thorgrim will follow you, and then this guy will have to decide who he goes for. And who he defends against. And Thorgrim is just gonna go right in front of Joseph, like so. Beautiful. Alright, you guys are good. I'd love to summon another Grudge Settler army, but we can't afford to do so right now. We got 15 turns to take these guys out and the Skaven and hopefully reach Nolan Grom again, though. That remains to be seen. Alden Halfhand, you're fine as you are. We can't afford any buildings, unfortunately. I would like to upgrade the, maybe the Goral Mine. It is twice as much. How's the public order here? Well, you know what? We're not collecting income, and if we try, we're at -8, even though it does generate decent income. But we need to save, what, 4,000? 2,000 for the Karaz Ankor. I guess we could do it, well, it'll be the turn after next. No, you know what? Build it right now. We need the +4. And we need to actually start collecting the income here, or else it's gonna be too expensive. It's also probably only a matter of time until these guys start attacking us, so hopefully Ungrim can keep them busy and possibly Tretch Craventail. We also really need that Brightstone mine as fast as possible, because it'll help kick our economy into gear, but too many enemies to our south. Anyway, I think that's another intern unless I'm mistaken. Let's double check Diplo. I don't think there's anything since we just did a trade agreement, though. Huh. Berkvar, very close to wanting to confederate. Oh, they're already in trouble against Gorbad. Well, we already knew, we were discussing in the first episode that it would be only a matter of time until Gorbad starts making his way northward. Well, we'll see how long they can hold off. Skip. I don't think we can deal with the Confederation debuff right now anyway. Ooh, so Clan Mordkin canceled the non-aggression pact, and in true Skaven fashion, and true AI fashion, I guess in the sense that they are cheating, they're not going to wait the 10 turns, and instead will wait only the 2 turns. This ain't great, and it probably means we can't go over here then, and we'll have to book it back towards these guys ASAP, which I suppose we were to some degree expecting. Fair enough. Fair enough, but, you know, Skaven being opportunists and not holding to the agreements and not caring about the fact that it'll tank their reliability, although I actually don't know whether the AI cares about reliability at all, that is, you know, par for the course with the Skaven. Huh, that's interesting. Our army was discovered and didn't get the ambush going, but the enemy... Oh, we could attack them without ambushing. The problem is, if we do it like this, then the other units don't come in as reinforcements, and that's not really what we want. So I guess we'll decline the attack, because this guy probably used up all of his movement range anyway. And he will... Huh. Wait, why can he... Huh, that's not good. Back off. And back off. And then, oh, because you backed off, they weren't in range of each other, right? Well, that's fine. And they'll still be able to fight together. It all worked out, sort of. Not exactly in the manner that I wanted, but it all worked out in the end. Also, while the turn is ending, or the end of the end turn is ending, we did reach the engagement threshold, so obviously this is going to be a longer episode, and the engagement threshold remains 500 likes and 70 comments, and the next episode will be an hour long, and not a short episode instead. So, do keep that in mind if you enjoyed those. Anyway, there we go, ambush foiled, recruitment cost reduction for infantry. I don't see Clan Mordkin as yet, but it's only a matter of time before they hit either Deadrock Gap or Kazad Urkbavak. So, in fact, wait, can we collect income here? Yeah, you know what? Switch out of Masters of Stone and Steel and Venerate the Ancestors. You'll be able to collect a little bit of cash. You have Makazungor coming in. We just want to upgrade the Dwarf Outpost here, although to be fair, we can also collect the income and then switch you to Venerate the Ancestors for a little bit of cash as well. Alright, fine. You cannot go past this mountain, unfortunately. And you can't go much further in March Stance anyway. Alright, fair enough. Gonna go here. That map thing cost us so much money. Oh well. Ooh, does look like Thorgrim can reach Drippin' Fang's camp, however, which is perfect. And we'll fight you in a second.
Let us begin.
Alrighty, and I might just auto-resolve this one because it's not really worth fighting. There's barely any garrison there. And you can move on and unleash that XP as you've been doing.
I declare war on them.
That you do, my friend. Alrighty, auto-resolve. Let's see how the damage is. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. And then we'll occupy. And game. You're not crashing right now, are you? What is going on? Game, please. Uh-oh, that's not great. Huh, I think my game might be frozen, and I might have to restart it. Yeah, okay, it's frozen. Be right back, guys. Gonna have to make a cut. Alright, round two. Let's see if this thing does work in terms of occupying it. Okay, it doesn't freeze this time. And hey, that completed the Bugman Grudge as well, so it's a little bit of extra cash, which we most definitely needed. Celebration, +3 control for all provinces, wrong put right. Beautiful. And that certainly helps. We're at 23% though, which is not quite anywhere there. Militia training, I guess, is what we were going to go for next, mostly to try to move towards interlocking shields and getting that shield wall up and running for both the Dwarf Warriors and the Longbeards as soon as we can. You are, well, a little bit damaged to the auto-resolve, but that's fine. It would probably take a couple of turns to reach these locations anyway, so you'd have the time to heal up. Now we gotta fight. Wait. Did I forget to move you before? Oh, right. Alright. Frickin' game crashing. Anyway, you guys move on in. We're gonna fight Mr. Dusty here. Who, let's see, do you have any artillery pieces? You do not, so we should be fine. Just double checking the lords again. Dowie Tactician, Bolgi, Doomseeker, and Sharpa. Okay, not what we want. Alright, go for it. And were you in any kind of stance? I guess it doesn't really matter. Alright, Pyrrhic victory, casualties medium, hardly surprising. The enemy does outnumber us. We're gonna have to put our flame cannons and our iron drakes to good use. Go.
Why are you all following me? It's really, really annoying. Just go and kill something. Go!
Alright, I really like that speech. Why are you following me? You're the leader of the army, dude. Anyway, should be a reasonably easy battle. I mean, we are horrifically outnumbered, perhaps, but we've got this choke point available to us, and we got pretty good positioning. And of course, the flame cannons and the iron drakes. We are going to wait until our reinforcements arrive. Our demon slayer, as well as our rune lord, who should be pretty darn helpful here, and we don't want to attack the enemy army until they're here, just in case they move towards us, which, you know, if you annoy them enough, they eventually will. Alright, Demon Slayer's here, a little bit faster than the Runesmith, hardly surprising, or Rune Lord, which is a Runesmith, but anyway. And now that they're here, we can move forward, reposition, and get ready to begin firing away. The enemy Gobos, I believe, are going to be the first target, simply because they are the closest. Unfortunately for them. Unfortunately for them, there we go. Alrighty, and away we go, firing away at the first unit. Looks like they'll dodge the first hit, but dodging the first one meant that they moved directly into the path of the second volley, and, well, they lost about, what, 20% of their HP? One solid volley will pretty much destroy the unit, however, and that looks like a pretty solid volley to me. They're down to half HP, and their leadership is rapidly dwindling. We can simply reposition since they've backed off, and then fire on the next unit, also the Gobos. Why firing at the Gobos first, considering that they're low priority in terms of their actual threat to our army? It's simply because they are the tightest formation that the enemy has, and thus will take a lot more damage from a single volley, especially at this distance. Our accuracy will increase as the enemy approaches us and gets closer, and then it'll be easier to fire upon things like orcs, trolls, and the squiggies as well. Anyway, looks like that unit of Gobos is out. The other one has returned and is booking it back towards us, but we're looking pretty okay for now, though the balance of power remains in the enemy's favor. I'd wager it won't remain as such for long. I certainly have faith in the Grudge Settler army. Expense-wise, even though it's a small third of a stack, it's still quite a bit of expensive units, and powerful units at that. And certainly, as we've seen with Thorgrim's army, the Grudge Settler Hammerers are not to be underestimated. Anyway, looks like the enemy has drawn into range of our second fire unit, the Iron Drakes, who are firing away. Can't wait to see what heights we can take the Iron Drakes in, well, Grimbrindle's army, since he buffs them, but also in the Fire army, because that'll give them plus 50% extra range, which is pretty darn considerable. And more range on your flamethrowers should be pretty darn good. Alrighty, and the enemy's moving on in. I love watching fire armies fight. They're just so entertaining. And it's not even a fire army, but even with two units. Oh, did you just fire into that hillside? Come on, man. Alright, Squiggies are going to charge forth, and just as the enemy reaches us, we're going to pop off that Rune of Speed in order to get our plus 25 melee attack. Mostly so that the Hammerers and both the Demon Slayer and I guess they're both Demon Slayers, will go after the enemy Lord, who quickly loses about half of his HP. Trying to burninate some of those trolls now, take advantage of the fire weakness, and it looks like the Iron Drakes will bring a few of them down. Oh, I'm so going to enjoy this campaign, and using Iron Drakes. I was missing flamethrower units so much when playing the Chaos Dwarfs. I still find it so incredibly bizarre that Chaos Dwarfs, the Fire Dwarfs, don't have a flamethrower unit. Maybe they're doing it out of spite because they know that the regular dwarves have Iron Drakes and they don't want to copy them, but then, I mean, they have Chaos Dwarf Warriors, which are basically identical, other than the hats, so, yeah, anyway. Anyway, the battle continues. The enemy continues to try breaking through our lines, and it looks like has managed to kill off at least a couple of the Iron Drakes with the trolls. Now, that said, the enemy's range units are pretty much destroyed. We managed to loop around the enemy with two of our units of Grudge Settlers, which have caught out those Orc Boar Boy chariots or Orc Boar chariots, and will destroy them in rather short order. The enemy, of course, did loop around us with 3 additional units, Boar chariots and 2 pump wagons and unit of Forest Goblins, and the Grudge Settlers Slayers are working on slaying them all. We got Glorious Charge on these guys and Extremely Daring Death Blow, although the latter isn't going to be crazy useful here, as I don't expect we'll lose too many of them. Alright, and the boar chariots and pump wagons alike are stuck, while the poor little gobos are getting minced rather nicely. Though they are doing a little bit of damage to us, and we can see the grudge settlers have dropped down to about 50% HP, or at least one of the units. The enemy's main line, however, has completely crumbled at this point under fire, under hammer, and under axe, and it looks like they will shatter, and it looks like with the main line and the enemy lord having shattered, the rest of the enemy army will go that way and shatter as well. Lovely. Well, that went about as expected. We even managed to burninate down a few of the trolls as they run away, because flamethrower units are good at killing off most types of things if they can actually fire on them. Lovely. All right, there we go. Nice fight, and oh, we can heal the grudge settler army post battle. It's a lot of gold we have to give up to do it, but since this army can't replenish in any other way, I guess we've no choice but to get this version of replenishment. It is what it is, and either way, I believe since this is the faction leader, this is the enemy's main stack, so and definitely still worth it. 2.4 gold, 2.4k gold. What if we take the money now, and then this army won't be destroyed, so presumably we can hunt them down and still maybe replenish? It's a bit risky. Alright, let's risk it. It's too much gold to say no to, so execute and loot. This army will back off, we should still be able to reach them, and then we'll quickly chase them down, and then hopefully that'll still be enough replenishment for our purposes. So we'll go here, we can't auto-resolve because we can't trust how much damage we'll take, so we'll just manually fight this super quick. And yeah, I mean, our unit should be able to burninate theirs without any issue. I wonder if it's going to be the same map. We are in the same territory. It could be the other side of the same map as well. No, it's the same side. Or is it the same side? Yeah, it is the same side. Alright, well that's fine. As we already know, the enemy can't win on this map. Alright, come on now. Alright, real quick. Did it save our formation? Sort of. Kind of. Kind of changed it slightly. I wish the Iron Drakes weren't damaged, but that's fine. We'll get you all here. We'll get the flame cannons behind you. Let's put you guys like this, the damaged one. Alright, let's do that. Alright, and start battle. You guys can move forward. Unless the enemy is also going to start moving forward, in which case... I'll actually see. Oh, they're going to start rampaging immediately. And they are moving forward. Alright, well, flame cannons, just fire away best you can. Best you can. And try not to fire into our own units, which is definitely a risk. And range units fire away, while melee units move forward. Alright, I was hoping to... Okay, hey, don't kill you off your own units. And then flame cannons switch targets. And you switch targets as well. Don't burninate your own guys. Alright, that unit is dead. And then you target the enemy lord, and then burnination continues. As it's wont to do. Maybe target the enemy lord as well. If we can burninate him down before the enemy arrives, that would be swively. Alright, you guys stay back. I guess our reinforcements aren't going to get here in time, but that's fine. Or it's fine-ish, anyway. Alright, come on, a couple more volleys, and okay, we do have the pump wagons moving in. The enemy lord's going to try to dodge those flames, but by the looks of it, not going to be able to do so too well. Get in the way of the pump wagons, please, and let's get the healthier slayers in here. Alright, there we go, down goes the enemy lord. Go after the squiggies now. And no, don't fire into your own units. Alright, slayers, you can move on in. I'm actually surprised that the enemy army hasn't broken in. No, don't target that. Target the enemy units that are running. And here come the slayers, and the battle should be just about over. Actually surprised that the enemy hasn't shattered already. There it goes. Alrighty. And, you know what, get a few shots. Huh, why did they... the artillery takes column formation now as well. Oh, that's dumb. It is dumb, but it is what it is. You guys fire away. I'm gonna allow them to fire for a few extra seconds just in case it gives us a little bit extra healing. I'm not entirely sure whether that's the case because this army will get destroyed either way, but, you know, why not? Alrighty, and I think you're not catching anybody else, so let's end the battle. Too bad our reinforcing lords didn't get to move in. I do wonder whether they get XP despite not actually participating in combat. I've never actually taken a look at it. Is there a base sort of amount of XP that you get for winning a battle, regardless of whether the unit actually did anything, killed anything, did any damage, etc.? Alright, okay. For a second I thought that the game would be crashing again. It's actually been a fairly... well, maybe not that long of a time since I've had the last crash, but hasn't been happening too much. I feel like Total Warhammer 3 is actually more stable than, I want to say Total Warhammer 2. I remember one of them kept crashing for a while there, although it might have been the mod stability that was causing that. Anyway, yes, we could still heal to full, so taking that money was the right move. Especially since the second time around, the money is a lot less. Beautiful. Alright, Luckstone and Seed of Rebirth. Nice. What is Thorgrim using at the current time? He's using a nothing, meaning you can have the Seed of Rebirth. A little bit of a minor regen. Alright. And until he gets his item, he can use that. Now, I was going to send you down here, but I think we're going to have to leave it to Thorgrim because the rats are here and, well, there's a very high likelihood that they can actually move towards Deadrock Gap. We do, however, then have to... So here's the problem.
Yes.
Rats can ambush stance and kill these guys off in the sense that they could ignore this army, meaning we're probably better having these guys follow Thorgrim around for now. Alright, so you guys go here. I hope there isn't another full stack like right there waiting to kill them both, but I guess we're about to find out. You can't go into a stance, and that's fine. I guess we will, however, want to get you, the Rune of Wrath and Ruin, in case you are in a fight, and then you can at least get Root Marcher. Alright, and just to double check, what's the reductions on Slayers? Oh, it's only 10%? Oh, that's not that much. Slayers, Giant Slayer, Slayer parts, 5% here versus 10% here, and additional melee attack and resistance, plus additional Thane capacity, which ain't too bad. This gives us casualty or punishment rate, though. Alright, well, since it's not anything crazy in terms of the... oh, okay, it's doubled up, so it's 15%. Yeah, it's these two that cancel each other out. Still 15%, still something. Not like the 50, I think it's just 50% that Thorgrim gets for hammerers. Anyway, we do have a little bit of cash on our hands. Probably want to build something in terms of getting money. I guess we can keep the base versions of the Tinkerer's shop around. And we could upgrade you, though, I mean, yeah, you know what, let's upgrade the Dwarf Outpost here. And then we'll switch out of Masters of Stone and Steel and into Venerate the Ancestors and collect the income. Like so. Huh, I thought I did that already. Oh, right, but the game crashed and I had to reload and then promptly forgot about that. Okay, and then we'll do the same thing here. I mean, we could upgrade the Dwarf Keep here. We do have now the money. Or we could double up on getting the extra cash out of Deadrock Gap without the huge expenditure. Alright, fine. Let's do the Dwarf Outpost. Oh, actually, no. It's a bad idea to... invest in Deadrock Gap, considering it might be destroyed. 4,000 is really steep, though. Oh, we can. Oh, you know what we'll do? We'll upgrade Kazad-Urkbavak because it will give us the higher level of Gem Cutter's Workshop, which is just so valuable. Alrighty, and that is now all of the money we have. Let's check Diplo, and then let's end the turn. Non-aggression pact nearly there for the Western provinces. We could declare war on the Kazakh, for example. That hardly matters to us. We'll never be anywhere near them. And I don't know who the Tokmars are, but I guess we could do that as well. There we go. Just keep us friendly with Grand Cathay as possible and get some of those lovely units of theirs. Darkland Bandits, huh? That's kind of interesting. It is another Cathayan faction. They're friendly with the Burning Wind Nomads and Goldtooth. They would also give us a vision in the... Do we want a defensive alliance with them right now, though? If they get attacked, it would draw us into a war with the Chaos Dwarfs, and right now that would force us to move an army out here, which we can't really do. You know, I think we'll wait. Decent likelihood we'll ally with them eventually if they don't get wiped out. At the end of the day, we probably would want, at the very least, Agril Migdal here. Although on the other hand, if we don't have to venture into the Darklands yet, that would be fantastic. Anyway, end turn? Oh, wait, hero check. Thugni's Bloodline. So we get Banish, Spell Resistance, and Character Experience gain. I mean, that's a little bit better than what we currently got with Thorgrim's guy, which was just the tiny amount of enemy miscast. But it's not so much better that, it has to be changed. Also, speaking of... what do we get here? Do we start with scouting? Probably want to max out Rune of Wrath and Ruin, don't we? At the very least for the cooldown. Yeah, let's get both of these. We also use Rune of Oath and Steel, admittedly. And we'll hold off on anything else. Alright, looks good to me, and then you need to level as well. We have Zufbar 42 Pounders now maxed out. Let's increase max mobility, because Thorgrim needs to get a move on, and pump those dwarfen legs. End turn. Consider Confederate... oh! I think Beric Vara is screwed, which is why... oh. It's actually not an option. It's very close, but it isn't. We could threaten them into it, but why would we? Frankly... Zufbar is definitely in trouble, getting wrecked by Clan Grutnik and Ironskins. Alright, come on, come on, Karakadrin, you should be able to take care of those Ironskins without having Thorgrim do it for you. Anyway, I see nothing from Clan Mordkin as yet. We can't reach Glowpit, and we're going to go into an... well... travel in Valais as well. A little bit of extra public order in our territories, wouldn't say no to that. And then you guys can, I guess, stay here, sort of, and make sure that you leech XP from Thorgrim. Thorgrim, you need to proceed down to Dogboy's camp, though... it's the fastest way to get to it. I guess like this? Alright, so go right here. We're gonna keep Joseph following you, because he's gonna peel off with his own army very shortly. And we probably don't need the sparring chamber here. We could start building these scrat mines, and we could actually collect them. Well, actually barely any income to collect here, so let's just get the public order for now, and then we'll deal with it. Scrat mine, 1,000 gold, yeah, do it, we need the money. And then you, do we have the military access with these guys? We do, so we can travel through their territory, so march. And you're nearly there, buddy. Oh, I'm sorry, Thorani, and I'm sorry to the Evergard. That one teleport completely screwed them over. Anyway, you guys... ooh, I wonder how far this guy can travel. We want to get close to Thorgrim, but we don't want... alright, just try like this, and hope that they can't go past him, and then kill them both off. It would be a shame, but you gotta risky to get the bisky. Anyway, let's see what we got into... ooh, hello, Silverhorn of Vengeance. Melee attack plus 10 for 30 seconds, plus 10 melee attack for Heroes in Lord's Army, and Armor Destruction, which will stack with Armor Sundering. Alright, I like this Vengeful guy. Might be a leader for a potential, elite single entity stack. A la Gotrek and Felix. Somebody suggested we do the same thing there as we did in the Kislev campaign. Specifically the Tsarina Katrin campaign. Alright, nothing interesting there. Double check the heroes as well. And Unhinged. I like the idea, I just don't like the Discouraged for our particular purposes, so... I mean, Thangni's Bloodline, we could probably just take the... take this one. There's probably better traits available, but it's not like these guys are super expensive or anything, and it would be nice to start leveling them. And we'll need one... yeah, fine, just get it. We'll need one in the Fire Army rather soon, anyway. Alright, what do we got? 13 turns. Yeah, at 13 turns remaining, the likelihood of reaching Nollengrom is insignificant. But you gotta try to at least reach Grom, though. Or Gorm, rather, to get the upkeep reduction for Grudge Settlers, otherwise they're gonna suddenly get stupidly expensive. Anyway, building-wise, we don't have a lot of cash, but we could at least upgrade either the Scrat Mine here into a Gorl Mine, or I guess we could build one here instead. Yeah, go for the Scrat Mine. And what do we have here? Well, let's build the Dyes. Ugh, it's barely any money, but we are trading with some other factions, so why not, I guess. Oh, you know what, we could... wow, look at that growth. The Draining Winds, growth minus 20 for all provinces, really not doing us any favors. Might even be better to just go for the barley field here instead. or rather than the dies, and then just get the dies at tier 3 once we're there. It's going to take a bit, but we need to invest in our econ diplomacy. Speaking of econ, see if anybody wants to be friends, and I think no on the defensive alliance with you. We'll see if they survive into the sort of mid-game. Now, we do have a decent bit of oath gold, so what we could do is go into the forge. 500, eh? We got the ban runes available, meaning we could get the explosive rune of burning, or we could get the rune of... Could get the rune of spite with 500, couldn't we? A decent upgrade for Thorgrim. Especially if he wants to wade into the middle of the fight. Huh, I wonder if there's any... Okay, I see a speed rune. What's the biggest speed rune we have? Hello, Master Rune of Passage. Plus 50%. I know who's getting that. Oh, Thorgrim's gonna be... he's definitely gonna be speedy. Anyway, we have 500, and the other option for that is we could get for GRIMNIR, which will give us a 10% campaign movement range after winning battle. Thorgrim already gets 20%, so this does seem super valuable. I'd also love the hero capacity, but we don't have the buildings to get them right now, and 4.3k gold is quite expensive. Yeah, you know what? Let's get the Rune of Spite. It's not a bad idea. Especially since we're about to split off into 2 armies, and Thorgrim won't have a full stack for a while. I'll take it. Where are we here? That'll be you. Alright. Inscribe. And then Rune of Passage, maybe immediately after. As soon as we get that Oath Gold back up to where it should be. Thorgrim. Character runes, and Master Rune of Spite is... Oh, it's a magic item? Sure. Alright, there we go. Alright, he's at 30 speed. He also has... technically, he already has the Strider from Banner of Swiftness, but nonetheless, another 50% speed, and then we'll see what other speed buffs we can give him. Alright, and I guess that's another end turn. We'll see about moving towards these guys. I'm thinking maybe we should peace out with them rather than move all the way to the Den of the Great Wolves. They'll probably be willing to give us a little bit of cash, and it'll give us time to move towards... Clan Mordkin. In fact, if Herrick Grundadrak can move to Glopit, we could potentially move Thorgrim to the high place and take these guys from this direction. Which might work out decently well. Also, I see that you've leveled up. Let's get your Root Marcher. Ooh, wait, no. Let's get you Inspiring Presence just to get a little bit of bonus XP. How is the cash here? Or the public order here? It's at 11. I'd love to max it out before switching into a mining camp stance. We'll still want to do it, though. But I do want to also level up Mason as fast as we can, but I don't know. For now. Alright, an unusual location. I can't believe we kept getting unusual locations nowadays. Which one is this? Howling Rock. Oh, it's the Exquisite Vineyard. Fair enough, we get the bonus control. And if we park one of our lords there, we'll eventually get the Dream Wine, so that'll be nice as well. Anyway, let's give this a read. Oh. From a distance, the vineyard looks immaculate, its grapevines perfectly kept, almost as if sculpted into the hillside. It's almost hard to resist paying such a place a visit. Alrighty, and we get the Slaneshi Corruption, we got Banner of Lost Holds, ooh, an area buff, love those. Enter a military alliance with any faction, meaning the game is thinking that that's a likelihood. Huh, no it isn't. And Berkvar has survived, at least for now. Alright, fair enough. I would like to double check the Great Book of Grudges here and see how the Confederation is proceeding with Mr. Grimbrindle. Total grudges you need to confederate this lord now, 9,600. We're very much on the way. We should actually be able to get Gromby, I don't know, maybe next episode? It doesn't look too bad. Anyway, Thorgrim, hit Dog Boy's camp. And we still need to get Gribble Town, which is all the way down here. Pocket Sand. Anyway, let's... well, we can actually probably fight those. And we'll do so in a second. We'll move these guys in to reinforce as well. And, ooh, I see Clan Mordkin's hanging around. Alright, Herrick Grundadrak, I think we're gonna pop you closer to Deadrock Gap. If these guys want to move down towards Stone Snake's Hold, we have the other armies nearby. You guys will also continue to leech from Mr. Thorgrim, at least for now. Oh, it'll mean less public order here, but it is what it is. March stance, you need to leech. This also will increase the chances of getting additional items, so I guess there's that. Not that it's the biggest of deals right now. And double checking, triple checking. I really want more overseers. And then same with the runesmiths. We've got another Karaki. Alright, well that's fine. You go out here. Too bad you can't move into the temporary army. Well, temporarily. Alright, gotta get those Evergard. Can't keep us staying ahead of them. Okay. And we'll fight as soon as you've reached where you need to reach. Alright, there we go. Now so Slaneshi Giggle. Also, let's do this thing. Still a close victory. I really don't think so, but we'll see.
No, Dowie! Let us wipe them out! Take up your axes and seek glory in death!
Alrighty, here we go. Anybody else miss Wide Thorgrim? Wide Thorgrim could just cover the entire enemy settlement with his girth. Anyway, looks like we are going to... a little tiny reinforcement. It's just a little pile of gobos. Alright, well, we'll deal with that. For now, we are going to move forward. We're going to start by blocking or destroying the enemy blocker barricade while our gyrocopters start off on any isolated enemy cavalry units. Boar Boy's going to have a reasonably bad time against those bombers or those copters and the one bomber so far. Alright, if the copters can actually stop missing those torpedoes, that would be nice, however. And they're homing torpedoes too, so you don't really have an excuse to be missing so many of them. They do look really cool in the way that they home in on the enemy. Alright, well, they're going to keep that up for a while, and we're just going to speed this up a little bit while we actually move into the fight. It's going to take a little bit of time to break down that barricade, and then we can move Thorgrim and the entire army forward. Alright, gonna get a few shots off on the enemy orc air boys, and there we go. Looks like our quarrelers have drawn into range, and while they're in kind of an ugly column formation, it's not going to be a big deal because the enemy can't really punish us for it. No casters in terms of hitting these guys with a magic missile, no artillery, no towers, and thus no recourse. And it looks like the Orc Air Boys are pretty much done. I believe that the unit of Boar Boys is nearly destroyed as well, down to about 20% of its HP. And frankly, positioning the Quarrelers in this way isn't too bad because they have the slight elevation advantage of the ramp towards the bridge, or the ramp portion of the bridge. And it's probably making it a little bit easier to fire upon the enemy, especially in conjunction with the Grudge Throwers. Very nice. Alrighty, and it looks like the Boar Boys are out, and the enemy unit of Goblin Wolf Rider Archers are next. They'll actually be able to fire back upon us, but they're not going to be a major threat either way. Thorgrim has now entered the enemy settlement, and we're going to block off wherever the enemy can move towards us, and get ready to fight as Thorgrim moves in and starts bonking away, hoping that the enemy lord starts moving towards him, but he'll take care of many an Orc and Boar Boy as he moves forward. Alright, and where's that enemy lord? Still hanging around out to there with the Black Orc Big Boss, that's fine. It's not like these guys are going to be able to bring Thorgrim down at this point, so they can just keep doing that. And, ooh, looks like some enemy units of Orc Biggins have charged the other unit of Hammers, which was protecting the left flank. I do like that the fires from those blasting charges light up the darkness and let us see both the enemy and our own Hammerers. And while this is somewhat dangerous to the Hammerers, we do have the base physical resistance, plus we pop the entrenchment on them to give them another 20%, which is keeping them from taking too much damage to our own blasting charges. Plus, of course, they have the pretty massive missile resistance, and they shouldn't be crazy threatened by them. There we go, the Orc Biggins are destroyed, the enemy lord has arrived, together with that Black Orc Big Boss, and the various Hammerers are facing off against them, which is working decently well for us. They shouldn't be that big a threat to the hammers. The Black Orc Big Boss, or at least the units, the Black Orc Big Boss and the enemy War Boss are the things that are liable to actually kill a few of them off, but at the cost of Thorgrim continuing to attack them. Balance of power has shifted to about 80% in our favor, that reinforcing little gobbo pile. We sent a couple of Dwarf Warriors, or a Dwarf Warrior and a Longbeard, to chase after, and they've been destroyed. And our bomber has arrived and is now bombing the blob of units around the hammerers. And dropping those bombs right in the middle of the blob means that this particular blob is already in pretty bad shape. Plus, it helps clear the way and allow Thorgrim to move forward and continue attacking the War Boss and Black Orc Big Boss without interference. That's the one. I was like, interception, intervention, interference. There we go. Orc War Boss is winded, shaken, and not having a particularly good day, perhaps noticing that Thorgrim is more or less completely unharmed at this point. And the fact that the enemy is now completely surrounded by the hammerers, since the bombs and the other units have taken care of the rest. The War Boss is down to 10% of his HP. And we've moved the bomber to the other side, to the left flank, where more units have arrived to try to deal with the one hammerer unit holding them off. We do still have plenty of blasting charges on the Ekron miners if they actually want to toss them, rather than just sitting there. But perhaps they're afraid of hitting the kneecap breakers here, which are a little bit busy. There's many a kneecap to take here, after all. Oh, I do like that the gyro bomber attacks also light the darkness up. Should have probably backed off these guys to throw a few more blasting charges. Not that it matters, as by the looks of it, the enemy has decided that it cannot win, or realized that it can no longer win, and has given up. The army breaks, the last of the units shatters, and the battle is ours. And I believe the enemy Lord and War Boss have also been killed off by Thorgrim. Nice. Alright, very, very nice. Pretty darn minimal losses, and, there was plenty of damage dealt by the grudge throwers and the blasting charges and the quarrelers. I still think that we should be able to split off and transfer them in rather short order. Anyway, we are going to occupy the place, and that puts us up to 32%. Hey, Goblobbers, grudge throwers are ready. Alright, or will be shortly. Let's get an immediate scrat mine here, I suppose. Do we just want to do... How much does it cost at the first level? 945. It's not too bad. I mean, I probably want those rather than the toolmakers workshops here, just because the negative control is not something we want to deal with. And yeah, Skaven corruption is also annoying, but we can deal with it more easily, I would think. Especially if we put a hero with anti-corruption there. Or a lord, whatever. Anyway, you're gonna wait to the... Oh, the fact that these guys are here, outside of Glowpit, probably means there's another full stack there. That's gonna be iffy for these guys if they attempt to actually fight us. Alright, maybe we grab Gribble Town and then move it back up north, and oh, we've nearly arrived at Crookback Mountain as well, which means Trutch Craventail might declare war on us. These guys are willing to give us currently 4,000 gold for peace, so yeah, I think we'll take Gribble Town and then peace out with them. Hopefully they'll still be willing to give us a bunch of cash, and then move towards Clan Mordkin, just because we don't have the time to go down southward towards these guys at the current time. I do think that we will in reasonably short order. It's just we don't want to spread ourselves too thin as yet. Alright, double check the Diplo again with complete paranoia, and it looks like nothing at least important or interesting at the current time. Building real quick. Agrodrin, still 3 turns. That's gonna be a bit. We could upgrade the next level of the Gorl mine to get more money, and while the public order here is still fine, it is going to be our biggest money-making province. Definitely not doing anything to the trinket makers here, and once again, we are going to delete those in a bit, but I don't want to deal with it right now because money. And I guess it's fine here as well. Not super critical to upgrade these as yet, and I think we can start upgrading them once we have Masters of Stone and Steel up and running rather than waiting. All right, you know what? Yeah, let's upgrade the Goral Mine, and then maybe in a couple of turns we'll start saving the 8,000 gold needed for the first level of the Deeps here, the Great Gate. 8.5 thousand gold, and that's with the Masters of Steel and Stone. I think it was 8,000 when this guy was nearby, maybe? I guess we'll see. I really gotta get those Evergard. Anyway, skip, and I guess that's an unturn.
No oath for the shot.
Oh, and now Trudge Craventail's gonna declare war on us. We're right beside him, too. He does have that speed buff, and I guess we are right beside Crookback Mountain. Kind of annoying, but maybe we could take it and hold it with the other army. I do wonder how many territories he's got. He's got 4. All right. Everybody around us is declaring war. I absolutely love it. Always makes for a very fun early game. Alright, let's see if any enemy armies showed up. Alright, so Pustin the Dominator has moved on in, but his one little army could probably be taken care of by... Ooh, although we've lost sight of the other army. What if it is still around here and we just can't see it because it's an ambush? It's a distinct possibility. You should also join one of these guys, but alright, we can't get them up there because they'll just get ambushed. That's also interesting. Well, that doesn't change the fact that we need to move towards Gribble Town. We don't need to heal up, so we can just move in. I don't know if we'll be able to reach it in one go. Yeah, I think we'll be just out of range. We have to risk moving into March Stance, which should put us just in range. We'll stay at the edge of our territory. But, whoa. Assuming, yeah, nobody here can reach this guy. No, that's a shame. Alrighty, I think... Okay, wait, what's the best way to do this? First of all, you need to march down here. That hasn't changed. Joseph of Zor, and I think you're going to go this way. Or maybe even this way. I don't think this guy would be able to reach you anyway. I don't see any other armies nearby. You two stay with Joseph for now, but stay in Valais as well, or at least stay near him to get the public order here going. Gets me going. And we'll double check the lords and heroes again. Every single time. Dim Seeker, we've seen these guys, and still Sharp Eye. Alright, and then double check the heroes again. Still Karaki, okay. Okay, what do we have otherwise? You will probably attack because this army's isolated right now. Alden, I see nobody's attacked you yet. Fortunately, the Black Spider Greenskins have not declared war on us as yet, though it's only a matter of time. Oh, I see the Golden Order is still doing okay to the south. They haven't been destroyed by Gorbad as yet, which I have definitely seen him do in pretty much every campaign so far, so might be only a matter of time. Let's prioritize getting the Mason up and running here for the additional construction cost reduction, and then we'll go for the Goral Mine as well afterwards for the additional cash. The Black Wastes are fine and just keep collecting the money. Also need to prioritize building up a public order building here as fast as possible. For now, let's hope that these guys don't have an ambushing little army. We'll give them a go, shall we?
I hope we're outnumbered.
And Pyrrhic Victory. Ah, the other army was nearby. Alright, so back off then. While we can fight both, we'll probably take such severe oh, we're stuck? Ah, because we can't see the other army. That's interesting. We could force them to attack us. Pop ourselves into melee stance. I think they're stuck as well, unless I'm mistaken, so... The encamp stance gives us a massive reduction to being ambushed, so there's that. Alright. Although if this army dies, we'd probably want to lord here, although on the other hand, it probably... Yeah, there's no way Dead Raw Gap's gonna be able to defend itself. Well, we'll see. If these guys can push past us and into Dead Raw Gap, that's why we didn't invest in it. We just need to deal with this as fast as we can. Alright, while that hasn't changed, we will then, I guess, end the turn. Whoa, I stopped moving Thorgrim. Oh, that would have been bad. Do we still want to risk the March Stance? I think we do. It wouldn't be great if Thorgrim got ambushed, but at the same time, with all of those hammers, it's still going to be very difficult for the Skaven to deal with them at all. Grudge against the Foul gives us buffs against the Skaven anyway. Let's double check if there's anything else that's super critical for us right now. I do like the Vigor Loss reduction. There's the leadership when fighting Skaven, but I generally consider leadership buffs to be pretty meh for dwarfs, simply because, I mean, you already have so much leadership with them, so it's kind of a... keep buffing up Thorgrim if we wanted to, but I think we'll get fire support for the additional little bit of research rate. Who knows? Maybe with the a little extra bit we'll be able to shave one turn off of this stuff. Alrighty, I guess we're gonna end the turn. Most likely the Grudge Settler army will fight, but, well, fighting's good. And I think next turn, or once we hit Gribble Town, that's when we'll separate Joseph of Zorn. We'll head him north to deal with the Skaven with a Iron Drake Grudge Settler unit in tow, and probably like half of Thorgrim's army. That will get replaced by the Evergard here, who are still attempting to approach. Alrighty, here come the rats. 2 armies versus our Grudge Settler army. The clan rats are, well, they're still pretty darn weak. It's all going to be up to the Burnination units. If we can keep them from getting engaged, we can do a lot of damage. We just also got to make sure that the Warp Grinders can't approach, or else that Warp Quake will do a lot of damage. I also suspect the Chieftains are going to attempt to rush through our lines to get towards our fire units, which ain't great, but it is what it is. Go. Alrighty, here we go. 2 stacks of Skaven arrayed against us, but ooh, they're trying to move toward us down this valley, and that is a tremendously bad idea, as we have the Flame Cannon and the Iron Drakes. Looks like the enemy is waiting for their reinforcements, and we are absolutely going to punish them for it. We command the pass, and we are going to make them suffer for it. First of the enemy units draws close, and it is a unit of clan rats, but they get burninated rather quickly, and lose 60% of their HP to the first volley from the Iron Drake's flamethrowers, while the Flame Cannon fires overhead and starts working on the enemy Skaven Slave Slingers and other clan rats so that they cannot fire back. First of the enemy clan rats is out, and we will continue advancing forward down the valley to try to block it off so that the enemy cannot get around us, as we'll want to take advantage of it. That said, there are a few units that are not deployed down to where the enemy reinforcements are coming in right now. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units, and including some Night Runners, so we got to watch out for those Shuriken. And so we're going to send our Slayers, our Grudge Settler Slayers, frankly all of them, to deal with them in the forest, while we continue the Burnination. And by the looks of it, well, for those who love a Burnination, you're eating well, because oh, those poor rats, they are way, way too blobbed up as they attempt to move towards us. And of course, these are the more fragile units. If they had piles of storm vermin, perhaps the armor would mean that they would have had an easier time here, but not like this. Alrighty, the reinforcements are here, and they've still got a fairly long way to move towards us, so we can, by the looks of it, burninate most of this army before the reinforcements even arrive. We're nowhere near to the edge of the map after all, so we gotta take advantage and do what we can. Otherwise, though, as expected, the enemy chieftains are charging towards our lines, but that's why we kept our lord and both of our hammerer units here. They're going to surround 1 chieftain each and hopefully destroy them, while the units of the Grudge Settler, well, I guess they're all Grudge Settlers, while the units of Slayers continue fighting in the forest and holding off the 6 enemy units. We got 4 Slayer units versus the 6 enemies, however, and so we should definitely have the advantage. That said, the Slayers are a fragile unit due to the fact that they have no armor and poor melee defense. Even clan rats and Skaven slaves are liable to do damage to them and kill off units, so we do still have to be careful with them. Especially without additional buffs or a Slayer Lord commanding them. No Rune of Oath and Steel, no Cathayan Drum to give them armor, etc., etc. And as we can see, this one lost about 20 units and half of its HP, but that was the first one to lead the charge into the enemy, so it does make sense that it took the most damage. Otherwise, the enemy reinforcing army is here. We've, I believe, sent the first of the enemy chieftains running, and the second one as well, and the warlord is now our target, while the Burnination ever continues. Ooh, another nice little volley into the enemy blobs moves as they continue attempting to make their way up this valley of death and fire. And oh, imagine a bombing run with several units of gyro bombers along this thing. It would have been real unfortunate for the enemy. And yeah, basically since the very start, since we got our first volleys off, the thing that's been screwing the Skaven over is the fact that the first of the enemy units start running, start routing, and try running back through the blob that's behind them. Then the units interfere with each other, and then they get stuck and can't move in any direction. Definitely had the same thing happen to myself, well, periodically. So hardly surprising, but it's really messing with the Skaven's numbers. And oh my lord, this one flame cannon, wow, 3.7 thousand kills. Yeah, I think that flame cannon just won the battle. Yes, indeed it did. The enemy army will shatter, and the battle will be ours. Man, did that one flame cannon earn its keep. Good lord. What's the name of this lord? Eric Grundodrak. He's gonna disappear, but I wonder if we could bring him back as one of our Demon Slayer Lord. Maybe Grundodrak's Gunners as a name, but anyway, there we go. We can't chase too many of the enemies down, but by the looks of it, the cannon destroyed so many of them anyway, so I don't think they're going to be able to recover from this heroic victory, and the valley is very much held. Alrighty, there we go. I do feel a little bit bad about that, but yeah, like I've said before, it's lorefully accurate that the dwarfs defend the mountain passes. It's how they fight. They control the passes around Karaz-a-Karak and, well, generally wherever they are, and enemies moving their armies up the valleys is bound to meet in quite a bit of destruction and burnination. And if you've ever wondered whether who would win, one flame cannon or 4,000 rats, I think we got the answer. 3.8 thousand kills and 250,000 damage. Absolutely ridiculous. Unfortunately, it's a Grudge Settler army unit, so we don't get to keep this, but we need a name for this cannon. We'll give it to the other Grudge Settler cannon that we recruited. We need to commemorate that ridiculousness. We get surprisingly little money for this, but I think considering we just used up all of our Oath Gold, we'll still take it. We need the cash, and basically these units didn't really get that damage, so execute and loot, I guess. And also, yeah, 573 kills and 92,000 damage on the Iron Drakes as well. Maybe they deserve a name to commemorate as well. You gotta love fighting the rats with the fire units. It's so fun. Alright, let's see what we're looking at here. So, we've got a couple of armies of Treacher's Ilk that have moved in, and unfortunately, wait. I hate the way that the AI does this, able to perfectly move in such a way that we can't, oh, actually I lied, we can reach this army. Ha, you guys are dead. Unfortunately, plus then the Dominator is still here, and Stone Snake Soul probably can't defend itself. We'll also want to wipe this army out as well, and then we can't reach this one. But that's okay, we did get a decent amount of cash. How far are you able to travel right now? I'm getting close to Thorgrim. I don't imagine these guys would be able to wipe out the 2 units of Evergard, so we could try to move them towards them and see where they go. Can you? No, you cannot. Alright, so the way that we do this is thus this. You are going to reinforce. We'll move Joseph of Zorn to attack, and then I guess you guys can leech XP. We'll just auto-resolve these guys. There's not enough here to actually be worth fighting, as we've already seen, especially since we have a flame cannon as well. So you can move in, and you can move in. Just gotta make sure that none of them are in the way. Ah, whoa. Rickrick Sliceblade is nearby. That's actually not good, and the reason that it's not good is because... okay, well, let me try to figure this out. He might be able to then ambush stance and kill off of these guys if we use them to leech. Okay, that means change of plans. So you are still going to attack, like so, but you're not going to move there. Yeah, where was this army? Alright, obviously this is auto-resolvable because it's a silly, just clan rats auto-resolve. Hopefully we'll find Tretch's main stack. And that was actually more damage than I was expecting, but whatever. Alright, we'll execute and loot. And then enemy killed in battle, Dwarf Bride, nice. We will take the Dwarf Bride and put the... Yes, you. Is it local region? It is local region, but you have the gem cutter, and oh, do you have the thing that the Cooper, was it? Yeah, income from gem cutters. Okay, we just gotta make sure that we max out the gem cutter next turn. You're still masters of steel and stone, or stone and steel, or whatever, so that's good. And these guys are still safe. And we could now get the barley field here, although maybe we hold off on it until we're ready to upgrade several things at once with masters. Alright, now Rickrick's Slice Blade still has to be dealt with, unfortunately. I only say unfortunately because he might attempt to go after Joseph here. Okay, I would like you to move in front of Joseph. What's a dog boys camp? Basically nothing. And see, I can't tell how far this guy can move, whether he can reach us here, which is a distinct possibility. And we also don't know whether there's another stack there, but, well, not much we can do about it. Alright, fine. Well, frankly, if these guys die, it's not a huge deal. And using them as bait isn't the worst thing in the world, especially the Demon Slayer, who'd probably volunteer for the, job. Alright, so here's how we'll do this. We'll move you here. Anyway, and if one of you dies, then one of you dies. Like so. Frankly, it's just a pile of clan rats and Skaven slaves, so it wouldn't be a big deal, and if they trap themselves here, they trap themselves here. What I would like to do, however, is get you that Iron Drake with Grudge Settlers. This means that even if you do get it, well, no, if you get ambushed, you'd lose, okay, I really don't want to lose the Flame Cannon. And the Grudge Settler Flame Cannon, that would be bad. Also, while we're at it, the Forge, let's go to the Banner Runes. Let's get that explosive damage rune of burning for the Grudge Throwers. We'll put one on Thorgrim, but we'll be splitting those off rather shortly. And it adds, it's a rune of burning, and it adds explosive damage, but I take it doesn't actually add any fire damage, or at least I assume so. I guess we'll see. Alrighty, and that's all we can do. We are holding on to the cash, I guess. Alden, you're fine where you are. Throne, alright, okay. You need to go... I mean, you could try to chase these guys down. And that's probably what we'll do. So first of all, we'll go after you, kill off Feskit. And once again, we can't risk auto-resolving, so I'll just do this battle real quick manually. Unfortunately, it's just the nature of the... And just the nature of these Grudge Settler armies, at least for now. Our next Grudge Settler army will have the +5 units from Thorgrim, meaning it'll have 15 units and we'll probably be able to auto-resolve these basic armies. Though I'm still a little bit concerned about the Slayers and the likelihood of them taking high damage, but you know, you gotta risk it, as we've already said. Next up, we'll position ourselves, just need the Flame Cannon to be in range. Just out of range by the looks of it. Alright, that's fine, not a big deal. Alrighty, and then the you guys can all move forward like so. Slayers on the flanks, please. Like so. And then, no, I didn't check if they had menace below. Well, it's too late now. Okay, you guys go forward. And turn off skirmish mode for obviously reasons. Alright, speed this up a little bit and fire away. Quite literally. There we go. Did I move these guys too far out? Maybe. Okay, cancel everybody but the... it's fine. It's not gonna matter. Alright, you're gonna target to the... Well, I'll target the Skaven slaves. Are there any clan rat spears? Yeah, there's some clan rat spears. You know what, you move a little bit away. I would like you to burninate the clan rats. Move out. Move out. You guys get ready to loop around and go after the range units. There we go. Flamethrower units are working. Enemies trying to dodge, but that's very much in vain. You guys go after the Night Runners. You get ready to meet the Chieftains in combat. Next unit, target the Clan Rats or whatever. Alright, and you guys rush forward. And get ready to go. Alright, go after the Chieftains, please, and you can now all move. You go after this. Alrighty. Oh, come on. Alright, turn into melee and kill these guys off. Flame can, just be careful about knocking out our own Slayer units. And in fact, move forward. And the enemy lord is dead. The enemy chieftain is surrounded. You don't fire at this time, and then you turn off your firing capabilities. And I believe the battle should be just about ours. There we go. We'll let the Slayers chase for a few seconds, just to maybe rack up at least a little bit of additional healing. No, what the heck are you doing, man? Come on, what the... When you don't want them to fire, they will fire. When you do want them to fire, everything will obstruct them. What the heck was that? All of our units here together going after the enemy hero, and they fire into them. Ah, game. Come on, man. Alright. Silly Iron Drakes. That was hilarious. Equally annoying and hilarious. Alright, well, this little army is destroyed. We gotta go after the other one. Let's hope that we can get the healing to get this army back up into good shape. Oh, I gotta double check. Is this army available for the 10 turns or for the 15 turns? Or for the 20 turns or the 15 turns? I don't know where 10 came from. Because if it's only available for 5 turns more, we could probably be a little bit riskier with it and not care as much about the casualties that it's taken. It's just too bad that all of this veterancy is going to go to waste on these guys. I bet you can't sort of revive previously used Grudge Settlers armies. Anyway, we can heal up, but it's not much healing, and frankly, I think I'd still rather have the money. Alright, like so. Very nice, and enemy killed in battle, and you can't reach Glowpit and you can't reach Pustin the Dominator. What you could attempt to do is go into ambush here in the hopes of Pustin the Dominator moving back towards you. I'd like King Lun. King Lun, not really, but yeah, to go to Glowpit. I want to see what's there. And we have another small stack, but nothing too concerning. Ruckrick is obviously still the issue, and I guess you're going to move right up to Pustin. Ain't no way he brings down the Evergard, though it'll mean another turn away from Thorgrim, but we'll hopefully meet at Gribble Town, or possibly Gribble. There's just so many rats running around that we can't deal with them in any other way. We're actually 1 turn away from building the Deeps building if we don't spend it on anything else. Maybe now's a good time. It will take 2 of our growth things, but if it gives us an insane amount of cash, then probably worth our time. When built in Caracate Peaks and Jarnagrund and Skaven Blight, it will be a unique location. There isn't a unique location at Karaz-a-Karak? That's a little bit surprising. Okay, figures. Alright, skip, and I guess end the turn. Let's see what Rookrick's Slice Blade does. Okay, and check the Diplo. Barakvar is ready for a confederation. However, if we confederate them right now, this turn, what'll happen is they presumably have at least 1 army, possibly 2, and then they will... Well, our public order will get absolutely obliterated. Oh, wow. Aldium is worth 900. Dang, that's a... I guess it's because they possess Iron Rock. Okay, well, we won't do this right now, but it's something we'll keep an eye on, because we can't take the Confederation penalty. A, and B... this will probably drop to like negative, and we also can't deal with that right now. So let's just wait, hope they don't get wiped out. And even if they do, we could always just move back there ourselves. It's not like they have a legendary lord with them or anything. Look at this little coward decided to not even try to attack Thrani and the Evergard. Okay, fair enough. What do we have in terms of garrison here? Ooh, we've got the Plague Claw catapults, meaning we probably can't... I was thinking maybe we attack this with you, but then the Plague Claw catapults will significantly outrange us. By 400, yeah, it's not quite twice as much, but it's a lot. And Research 8 Technologies, it has been a preservation, plus the Dragonfire handgun, which will be good for our fire army. Another unusual location, this time in Redface Stronghold, and yeah, the fact that we keep picking these up here probably means we... Oh. Sewer dwelling, cult of the Yellow Fang. Chance to trigger related to location. The location will be removed. I assume we should remove this. I wonder if it does anything, like if you have a lord there, when you remove it, it'll do something. I don't know. Do we have a lord that we can put here to... Because I know that the Black Arc one, it gives you a bunch of XP, but I don't know what this one does. Great Cannons is okay, but still kind of meh. Doom Seeker again is okay, but... I guess we could just take another... Oh wait, no, Bolgia is Master Rune of Negation, Master Rune of Breaking. I don't particularly like either of those. Silverhorn is okay. I guess we could try the Vengeful one and then delete him immediately. It's a bit expensive, what can you do? Alright, let's do this. Put you into a red-face stronghold. There's that Talisman of Preservation and such, and then we'll immediately burn this down. Which apparently did do nothing. Maybe it was a bad idea to burn it down, but negative control and a huge amount of Skaven corruption. And yes, we could have farmed the Skaven armies, but at the same time, I really didn't want to deal with the horrific negative control. Also, since you're on the field, are you able to immediately swap into... No, I was hoping to put you into Valet as well. Alright, fair enough. Alrighty, so... Rickrick Sliceblade moved away, and Nashrak to Crusha is still here. This is kind of interesting. Where do we go? How do we do this? We have 9 turns now. Not a lot. I assume Crookback Mountain is worth a decent bit. We should still hunt this guy down. I imagine that Rickrick moved this way, so go here with Thorgrim. Can we see Rickrick? Oh, there he is. Alright, we'll auto-resolve this and also put the Rune of Burning on you, which... Oh, it does give you fire damage. Oh, okay. Huh, okay, wait a moment. Auto-resolve this. And then take the money again. Alright, then I guess you'll go into March Stance this way. I assume Rickrick can't reach us here. Joseph, you're gonna go into Dogboy's camp for now. And then we'll split you off shortly, but we have to keep away from both of these armies lest we get attacked. Grimdelver's up and running. Ooh, I can't wait to make the shotgun army. That'll be really fun. Grimdelver's and a bunch of Thunderers with shotguns. And something else, obviously. Anyway, since this Rune of Burning actually does provide fire damage... we could also put it on the Goblobbers. Wait, no, wait, or can we? Wait. A moment here. Application of Burnt. This adds explosive damage, so just straight up adds explosive damage, eh? I'm just wondering whether it overwrites anything that the Goblobbers do in particular. Which currently have base explosive damage 40. I wonder if it just increases their explosive damage. I guess we could test it out. This is base explosive damage 80, so would it increase it? Superpowered Goblobbers? That does sound fun. I'd love to spend the money on it, but since we have 8k, we're gonna get the first level of the Deeps here. Alright, I mean, we were saving up for it for quite a while. We may as well take advantage. Significant increase in the amount of blasting charges might be a decent pick right now. Assuming that there's nothing else that we really want here. Construction time for defense buildings, probably not going to build those anytime soon. There is the industry. Well, you know what, we probably will need the industry buff sooner. Do the mines also count for industry? It says deep mine, wait. Infrastructure. So industry is only the trinket makers, meaning it wouldn't actually benefit us all that much since we're not using them that much. I wish that, you know, like the units that it says, like, this will benefit these units. It should also do that for buildings, so it would specify. And just in case one of them... isn't listed or isn't clear, you know what I mean? Yeah, I think we'll still go for the military stuff. Nothing jumps out at me. For blasting charges, we don't have the 250 oath gold for this as yet, but we will rather shortly. Alrighty, anybody else need to move? So Joseph of Zorn and you guys are fine. Alden is stuck where he is. Thrani, you will, I guess, continue chasing this guy down? Not much you can do about it. You can go into ambush stance and attempt to get him. I don't think he can even take Stone Snake's hold at this point, so we just advance towards him until we're ready to kill him.
For the wisdom of Valet
Would he be able to... He would be able to destroy this army if he ambushed us, most likely. So we can't risk that. Unfortunately. Ooh, Thorgrim leveled up, though. Let's get fire support for that additional little bit of extra research. Oh, we'll need to actually make use of the hero capacity. And wait, was it tier 3 that gave us access to engineers? Yes, meaning we should build the engineers workshop and get access to gyrocopters pretty much as soon as we're done with the deeps there. Alright, and I guess that's everything that we can do right now, unless I'm mistaken. I could move you over here just to see what's going on, get some free levels out of identifying the Skaven territories, the ruins. And then I guess you can stay in ambush stance in the hopes that these guys do something about it. Alright, let's end the turn and see what these guys do.
A quest has been issued, mighty lord. A great adventure beckons. Be wary, though, for while the potential rewards are great, so too are the perils.
Ooh, the plus control. Yeah, we should probably do this, if not immediately, as soon as we get the Evergard in our army. I don't remember what exactly this battle entails, but the rewards alone, the money, the control bonuses, the grudges settled, the oath gold, should be made use of as fast as possible. Oh, and the Gotrek and Felix battle. Atrocious battle in terms of the design of it, because you can't control Gotrek and Felix in it, and they both act like idiots, which admittedly is somewhat accurate, but anyway. Anyway, it's still an escort mission, and escort missions are garbage. Terrible game design, but that goes for all games, not specifically for this game, so not much we can do about it. Anyway. Devs just seem to love escort missions. It's inexplicable. Anyway, this has not changed several things. Thorgrim. Alright, so I think it's time. We're going to move you here. We're going to have Thorgrim transfer to Joseph here. Alright, you can have... Obviously take the Dwarf Warriors, you don't need those. Take the Miners of Blasting Charges. I mean, we could keep the Longbeards for now. Maybe keep the Quarrelers as well. Let's keep the Grudge Throwers in this army for now. We can maybe give the other guy the Goblobber or something. Anyway, we want to still reach Gribble Town, so we'll go here. Now, this is as far as you can travel. We just gotta make sure that you can actually reach Thorgrim, because we could save a lot of money on it, so let's do this. And then Thrani, you will transfer. At last. A long time to get here. Alright, like so. And there we go. That's a considerable savings. These guys now cost half as much as they were, so that's a bonus 500 gold. Thrani, you're gonna stay here, at least for now. We still need you. Joseph, Rickrick Slice Blade might come back, so you can stay at Dogboy's camp while Thorgrim proceeds to Gribble Town. It's really annoying that it's not showing us how far the enemy army can move, because I'm not sure whether we can actually run our other armies away or not. I guess you're going to try to march up this way, and then you are going to go as well. We can't be near to Skaven anyway. We can use these guys to either dig, mine, whatever, or we can use them to... Let's build a scrat mine. Or we can use them to get additional public order. At least shortly. Alright, money-wise, what are we looking at? Oh, right, the deeps. That would have been completed. Should have taken a look at that immediately. Now, let's see what this gives us. Alright, so... Cannot be removed manually. This blocker will be demolished upon sufficiently upgrading the entrance hall building. So this is the ruined entrance hall. Oh, I get bonus hiking decrees for doing that. Alright, they are quite expensive. Now, what do we have in terms of options here? Unstable magma caverns. Huge debuffs of various kinds. The -8 control is insane, but then later we get improves the rarity of items gained from battle faction-wide. That's pretty nice, but it seems like a late-game thing. This is the entrance hall. What do we have here? We can't afford it as yet. Seems to be a military specialization building. Settlement income plus 5% per turn count, local region. Settlement income minus 5% per settlements owned. Okay, so this is basically the thing that lets you build tall. But frankly, this is basically... I mean, you're generally never going to have as many settlements as you are turn count, at least not in Old World, because the distances are too big. So this is basically universally useful. So we should probably get this. And it's bonus control and it's bonus whatever. Alright, so we need 4,000 gold for this. Bit of a shame to lose control a little bit on the first level, but we'll take it. It's fine. Let's take a look at the others, though. At the max level, this gives us a little tiny bit of growth. And income gain from settlement income, so just basically more money. This at the final level gives us money at the cost of oath gold, and this doesn't seem worth it. Drinking halls. Ooh, huge amount of control. Hero capacity for all heroes except demon slayers, who apparently don't like beer. And... a little bit of money. That one's not bad. What do we have here? Trade tariffs, tradable resources produced faction-wide. And some good stuff in here. But yeah, we're going to prioritize the Ornate Guild Foundries, and we'll want to probably try to get it up and running immediately. Seems like a high-tier choice investment. Granted, the settlement income is local region only. It's not the... And the amount of money actually made by Karaz-a-Karak probably isn't anything crazy, but it'll still pay for itself in decent time, I'd wager. Kind of makes it feel like we're better off than going for the Scrat Mine, the Deep Mine here, just for the increased money to get more benefit out of it instead. Do any of these give us money directly? They do not. Huh. It might... Are you able to build that same building everywhere? As in, if we were to build another Deeps in Karaz-a-Karak, would we be able to do that? Because then we could take advantage of the amount of money generated from the gem cutters. Or actually, it doesn't actually generate that much money. It's only half as much as a Scrat Mine. Alright, then we should prioritize getting Mount Gunbat and the Oath Gold, or the Brightstone Mine, rather. Which generates insane amount of cash. Yeah, alright, that'll be the goal for that one then. Anyway, we'll still do it at Karaz-a-Karak. Now you can't attack this, unfortunately. They are building and they are recruiting, but I mean, we could potentially try to rush the catapults with the Slayers, but they'd get pretty heavily damaged by the Plague Monks. I wish I could see what exactly is in this army. I mean, we could by besieging it and see what's there. The Plague Monks wouldn't be able to handle the Hammerers, at the very least. And it would mean not having to sit here, which would be great as well. Actually, speaking of, Joseph, okay, wait, you know what, we'll wait. And just besiege it. This army's not going to be around for a long time anyway. Alright, what do we have here? Not much of clan rats and Skaven slaves, they're not the issue. It's the Plague Claw catapults that would be a huge issue, but depending on what kind of map it is, we might be able to hide some of the Slayers in the trees and still destroy them as we advance, so I'm willing to risk it. Especially since the army will be gone shortly. Vikram, you can leave the settlement and then go into Valea's Will to get at least a little bit of extra control, which we are still in decent shape there. You are still in Masters of Steel and Stone, and I did say I wanted to build another Scrad Mine here, and that hasn't changed. And we'll upgrade you. Oh, should actually probably prioritize... actually, it's only plus 100. This gives us plus 150, so why not? Well, let's do that. And that's all the cash we got. I'd really love to try out the Evergard. Are you able to... Well, you know what?
Ready to war.
If we borrow a couple of these units again, we could fight the quest battle, but I guess we could do that next turn after we take Gribbletown. We should still take Gribbletown and peace out with these guys, though it looks like they're building up a full stack somewhere anyway for now in turn. Siege equipment available. Oh, what's the likelihood that these guys don't actually sally out? Who knows? Let's build this just in case. They might also have another army nearby. A distinct possibility. Demon Slayer's also damaged, but it is what it is. Alright, good enough. Ah, there's Tretch. Oh, he went around us. What a little jerk face. That's a little bit annoying considering we had a small investment in the territory, but it is what it is. I guess we'll have to loop back around towards him. Just so darn many enemies. Alright, fair enough. We can fight it and probably do a little bit of damage, maybe even knock out one unit, but I don't think it's a big enough deal for us to care, so Alright, Throny Deepbrow will unfortunately get ambushed, but we certainly expected that, and we're willing to attempt to sacrifice him. I assume... Wait, he could try to escape, can't he? Or can he? No, he's in march stance, so he... Yeah, I'm pretty sure he gets destroyed anyway, even if he flees, but I guess we'll give it a try, who knows. Yeah, let's try to flee. Give it a shot. I'm 99% sure that even if he leaves the battlefield via the escape route that he'll still get destroyed because he's in march stance, but still interested to see, because the AI always attempts to flee even if it is ambushed in march stance. And is it doing that despite the fact that it will get automatically destroyed? Throny is a rearguard lord, right? Unless I'm mistaken. And this is why, if you were wondering why I kept moving all of the single lords away, this is exactly why, because Skaven will just ambush them and then, you know, what can you do? Where is the... okay, I guess you can't flee, can you? Yeah, looks like you can't. Alright, fine, fair enough. Makes sense to me. Alright, let's just speed it up. You're gonna get killed here, buddy, but it is what it is. A last stand of Throny Deepbrow. Let's see if we can't damage the enemy lord a little bit in this. I'm just gonna keep it sped up because we have better things to do than this. And yeah, poor guy's completely surrounded and will probably shatter rather than... Yeah, there we go, decisive defeat. Oh well. Hopefully this means that this army is stuck close enough to us so we can hunt it down, though we do want to hunt down the... we do want to hunt down the enemy's main stack, specifically Tretch's main stack. I'm glad that this was the regular Dwarf Lord rather than the Rune Lord, because the Rune Lord was expensive to recruit and expensive to upkeep. It would have been a much bigger waste. The Rearguard Lords, admittedly, we don't really care about. At least not that much. We'll probably have to recruit another one. And this is all because he had to deliver those Evergard. But hey, he completed his duty. He didn't shame his ancestors. And, yeah, okay, you know what? It was worth it to destroy this army, because now we won't have to chase them down constantly, which was already kind of infuriating. And they got some more grudges on them, which I guess is nice. Alright, let's see if Clan Mordkin sallies out and attempts to attack our, this little army here. Dusty! You want peace now, but you're willing to barely offer us anything. You were willing to offer us like 2.5k before, so I'm gonna say no. At least for now. And I want to see if Farukrik Sliceblade also moves back in to actually attack us. Oh, actually, if Thorgrim goes after Pustin, that would mean we can briefly trade trade units with Joseph and then fight the quest battle. I really just want to see those Evergard in action. I don't really care via which method we do. Alright, looks good to me. Settlement looted, settlement lost. That's Strippin' Fang's camp. We'll get right back to it. At least it isn't any of our mountain territories. And oh! These guys actually didn't sally out. Well, that's kind of interesting. Wasn't expecting that. Alright, fair enough. Keep building dwarf siege towers, I guess. So you've got 7 turns in which you can siege this, should you desire to do so. You can rack up a little bit of XP by scouting the place. Ooh. Worth quite a bit, though. I wish we had another hero to scout. I want to see where exactly Tretch is hanging around. We get another one of these Iron Gaze ones. Magic item drop chance from battle for accompanying lord. Might not be horrible. And it'll stack with all the other magic item drop chances that this guy has for a massive increase. Yeah, maybe we'll take that. I don't really care about the hero action success chance, but why not? We gotta get more runesmiths on field, as every army needs them anyway. Now, Tretch is here. Okay, first of all, okay, let's figure out how we do this. First of all, you're gonna move here towards Pustin the Dominator. Then he's gonna run. And we'll move these guys up north to help this army out. So you're gonna go here. You're gonna go here. You two are going to attack this with a quick little auto-resolve. Like so. And I'm gonna just assume that it's not gonna do severe damage to us. 87 units lost, still more than I'd like, but it is what it is. And we will take the... we'll take the cash. Alright, then... Vision Plucker Pendant, Enchanted Shield. Then what we'll do is this. We will borrow some of these units.
I agree.
Again, we'll take the Ekron miners, and we'll take the flame cannons, and maybe 1 unit of dwarf warriors. I'm thinking we get the Goblobber up and running immediately as well, because this army is going to split off immediately. Yeah, we'll do this, and we'll get the Goblobber, and then we'll go. Oh, we could also get the Warriors of Dragonfire Pass, which should be in this army, but we'll start with the Goblobber. Alright, and I just want to check, so currently, or double checking, 40 and 80 armor piercing explosive damage and base explosive damage. And then if we... Wait, can we... Oh, it'd have to be pre-battle to transfer this. We can't do it from this menu. Ah, okay, it's gonna be difficult to test it that way. Alright, fine, fair enough. Good enough then. You are going to all level up, and then we're gonna go into the fight. Still haven't decided between Grudge Raker and stuff. We've got 1 more level until the Gyrocopter mount, so that should do it. We Are the Elite is great, but not super helpful to us right now. Maybe we'll get the Ancestral Grudge. Might as well, in case you get into melee. We will be fighting Greenskins here after all. And I guess we can get the additional ammunition via requisition, so we'll do that. On the other hand, we could just go through Deadeye to get Ballistics calibration, so let's do that. It'll mean a little bit less damage, as in we wouldn't be getting the Grudge Raker, but you're going to be on the Gyrocopter, and frankly, on the Gyrocopter, all this is probably not going to be super helpful. Whereas Ballistics calibration will allow you to increase the damage of the other Gyrocopters around. Forge Fire for you, and we should head towards Strike the Runes. Let's also get Wardbreaker, which is nice, and Rune of Hearth and Home, which is giving us that charge resistance in area, immunity to psychology, and vigor per second. Plus the enemy missile resistance and spell resistance is nice. Alrighty, that is that. Thorgrim. First quest time. And we need the rewards. Not the Godric and Felix quest, but the Axe of Grimnir. Just out of curiosity, this gives us magical attacks and 20% weapon strength when fighting greenskins and melee attack plus 20, or plus 10 rather. This gives us no magical attacks, and it does give us upkeep reduction, but it's okay. It's not bad. The upkeep reduction is worth it, it's just annoying that it'll be a loss of magical attacks. That'll actually make Thorgrim weaker against a lot of enemy lords. I guess if we are about to fight a demonic enemy, we could switch them out. But anyway, let's give this a read and then let's do the battle. This is the Axe of Grimnir, right? I accidentally did the Adventures of Godric and Felix quest in another campaign at one point, as in I was trying to do another quest and I clicked that one, and yeah. Anyway, recent test flights of new gyrocopters have been fruitful, revealing a large gathering of greenskins around a location in the Badlands known as the Pillar of Bone. The High King's scouts reports the presence of numerous orc and goblin warriors engaged in some sort of ritual activity, which appears to be centered around several shamans. Given that the Pillar of Bone is known to be a nexus of arcane power, Thorgrim is determined to disrupt the ritual and orders the battle horns sounded. Alright, oh, is this the one where the battle keeps going until we kill all of the shamans? That's gonna be annoying. They're probably fast enough to get away from our slow-moving units, but either way, we gotta try out those Evergard. Go. Speed will win the day here, not always a dwarfen characteristic, but perhaps recent innovations will plug the gap. In any case, those filthy Groby magic users are making some ritual. They must be disrupted, and quickly, or no doubt tougher reinforcements will follow.
Behold, the stone fruits of the Engineers Guild's labor. New flying gyro machines will take to the air. Let me assure my traditionalist brethren within the guild that Morgrim himself would be pleased with this innovation. Now, let us test them against the eternal enemy, the ones who have more entries in the great book of grudges than any other, the orcs. See how the greenskin filth flock round that vile pillar. Let us wipe them out! So confident am I in these new machines, that I forsake my axe, and will not take it up again until victory is secured here. I do this in the knowledge that those orcs will soon be corpses scattering the battlefield. Let us be about this! Now, Dowie, let us wipe them out. Take up your axes and seek glory in death.
Alrighty, I really liked Thorgrim's pre-battle speech this time around. The idea of saying that he'll put down his axe for this fight because he trusts in the machines that much. I think that's really nice. I really enjoyed that. Good job, Thorgrim. Anyway, here we go. Big old battle. We got the reinforcements coming in from several sides. We got Cav on the left flank and 5 units plus an enemy war boss. And then we got more units coming in on the right flank with just basically tons and tons of stuff here. I see 2 units of Black Orcs, 3 or 4 units of range units, a bunch of Gobos, another War Boss, and then of course the 4 enemy Shamans, 2 Doom Divers, and a bunch of other units. Now, the goal of the battle is to kill off the 4 Shamans, so we're going to rush directly towards them with Thorgrim, his 2 units of Evergard, and the 1 regiment of Renown as well. And they will be taking many a Doom Diver hit as they rush forward. Though fortunately it looks like the enemy is hitting the... Ooh, I love the shields on these guys. You can just see those. Oh, those shields look great. Yeah, and as I was saying, it's the Evergard with shields that the enemy is trying to attack with those Doom Divers, which is working for us, as the shieldless Hammerers are booking their way forward. That said, they'll start taking hits from the enemy Error Boys or Gobos, but, well, that's just life. And they'll be able to close the distance before long. Our flame cannon is firing away on the second enemy blob as it is within range, but we're going to have to leave it to Thorgrim and these 3 units to clear out the main enemy army, as the rest of our army will be busy trying to protect the goblobbers and, well, just the rock lobbers, grudge throwers, from getting destroyed. Alright, Hammerers have arrived. Thorgrim's Grudgebearers facing off against Savage Orcs, whose physical resistance will not be helpful because we got magical damage on all Hammerers. Evergard with shields, facing off against Gobos with shields in a terrible matchup for the enemy. And then Thorgrim trying to get through together with the Great Hammer Evergard. Just trying to use his mass to make his way towards the enemy Shamans, as the battle will not end until those Shamans are destroyed. The enemy Cav has arrived, and unfortunately we did not have enough units to keep them all back, and 1 did manage to reach our artillery. In fact, I think 2 managed to reach our artillery. We're going to have to send a few of our Quarrelers into melee just to see these guys off. Fortunately, the enemy's Cav is the Wolf Raiders and not the Boar Boys, and thus shouldn't be crazy threatening, and even the Quarrelers should be able to fight them in melee without too much trouble. Flame Cannon, of course, continues firing, and I'm glad that we borrowed it, as it is frying a decent amount of the enemy range units. See those Zufbar 42-pounders come down on the enemy range units as well, while Thorgrim and his Evergard continue to advance. Enemy's main line of infantry have broken beneath the onslaught of Thorgrim's super elite bodyguard, and he is still trying to make his way forward. What's his mass at, out of curiosity? Ooh, nice hit though. His mass is at 2,750. It's not enough, but what we can do is what we just did, drop a bomb on top of Thorgrim to clear his way of the Gobos that were blocking him, and then allow him to close the distance a little bit more with the enemy Shamans. I believe 1 enemy Shaman is now being chased down and soon to be surrounded by Evergard. And it looks like most of the enemy cavalry over in the back line have been severely damaged at the cost of 2 of our artillery pieces, which can no longer fire, or at the very least which are routing. We'll bring them back to recover their artillery shortly. Out here we have our unit of Dwarf Warriors who are holding off the enemy Orc War Boss, and just to keep them busy while we deal with the enemy Cav, and then we'll move our more elite units to deal with them after. We're also going to make sure that we use our gyrocopters, the troll hammers in particular, to deal with the rest of the enemy running infantry, or cavalry rather, the opposite, just so that they don't come back. Thorgrim has defeated 1 of the enemy Shamans, and we have to kill them or rout them, so that's 1 out of 3, and just so it doesn't come back, we're going to have the Gyro Bomber, which are pretty good at sniping single little entities like this. Just keep on attacking it until it's done for. 34 HP means 1 more volley, and the first Shaman will be dead. Would have been nice if you fired on cue there, Gyro Bomber, but oh well. There you go, nice. And that's one. The second one has routed as the Evergard have surrounded and destroyed it. Thorgrim is distracting the enemy orc war boss, however, so we're going to have to send the other hammerers and the longbeards with great weapons, which have arrived to help after the other two shamans. Looks like our artillery are now free and clear. Though the runesmith did take damage helping out against the enemy orc war boss, the back line is now more or less safe. And while a few enemy units of Kev do attempt to come back, we now have the range units actually firing away at them, and thus they can achieve nothing. Alright. 2 more shamans remaining, plus of course the enemy war boss. We're going to have our gyro bomber and gyrocopters attack this one shaman, who by the looks of it is taking decent bits of damage. And surprisingly, isn't actually getting knocked down by the attacks of the gyro bombers and copters, which means that it keeps taking damage rather than getting invincibility frames while it gets back up, which works out pretty darn well for us, as this means we can kill this one off, and that was the last one to rout, as the battle is ours. As soon as all the 4 shamans are defeated, the battle is done. Lovely. That was really fun. I like the fact that we were essentially fighting all over the battlefield in separate locations, and certainly had to work for the victory, and that was a fantastic debut for the Evergard marching forward with the High King relatively unsupported as well. Alright, there we go. A pretty darn cool battle. I felt Thorgrim was able to advance with his Evergard, both of the units of Evergard, and his Grudge Bearers, most of which did a lot of damage, while Thorgrim worked to hunt down the enemy shamans. And a little bit of help from his guard and the various flying units, while the rest of our army stayed back and dealt with the other enemy reinforcements. We got a little bit of cash, and we got a little bit of healing. Now, we do have to keep fighting, but at the same time, we will get the plus 25% increase to healing after this, so I think it's probably better to execute and loot and take advantage of that. Alright, Courageous Stonemason for Tom Phillipson. We'll give that to one of our new rearguard lords. Gyrocopter for Tom Phillipson, and there's the Axe of Grimnir. Alrighty, nice rewards, you gotta admit. And, wait just a second. We don't have another rearguard lord, we do. Scory Iron Pick. Put you in here, into Karaz-a-Karak. Alrighty, and you can immediately take that ancillary. I don't need the Cooper. Take the Runesmith's Apprentice, and then take the Stonemason from Tom Phillipson. Oh, you know what I should have done? I should have removed the other Stonemason from the other rearguard lord that died, just to not lose it. Gotta remember to do that when using lords as bait, but, well, whatever. Anyway, this would allow us to... Wait. Do the reductions in province have the reductions to building don't count for the deep stuff? Well, that's a bit unfortunate. We can start on this, though, because it's going to take a while to build it up to proper levels, and we do have to get to that ornate guild foundries for the extra cash. So, start on the ruined guild foundries as the first thing. I guess we could upgrade the Goral mine here. So, whoa. Well, wait. Plus 150 versus plus 100, but also additional oath gold and additional gemstones for trade, potentially. Yeah, fine, do the gem cutter's workshop. Alright, fair enough. Now, units have to be traded back. So, give back the Ekron miners, give back that one unit of dwarf warriors. They don't need the longbeards, at least not right now. And then... I guess transfer them the Goblobber, as well as... Or do we keep the Goblobber on Thorgrim's army? Because these guys are going to have the F5. Well, we should have at least one Grudge Thrower in the army. Let's give them this one, and we'll keep these two on Thorgrim's. Was there anything else that I had traded from this stack? I don't remember anymore. Doesn't look like it. Alright, that should be good enough at least to fight basic Skaven stacks. Gotta remember that we will be putting the Iron Drakes in here as well. Anyway, now Thorgrim, you are going to march stance and advance towards the Drippin' Fangs camp to get it back. Rick will most likely be moving towards Dogboy's camp, so I guess you're gonna have to stay here until he does. It does mean keeping him away from Gribble Town. And they're not willing to peace out anymore, so they probably have a full stack running around somewhere. Alright, fair enough. Yeah, so you advance here. You guys are going where you're supposed to be going. I don't believe anybody else needs to move, which means we can end another turn. You are in Valea's Will, as you should be, and look at that public order. Ain't it beautiful? Can we build the, right. Yeah, we can at least build the Cinnabar mining... Oh, right. Oh, he'd want to switch you to reduce that further. And we could upgrade these, or we delete this now and then replace it with another Gorl mine, or we don't build either and then we build the barley field. Because the growth here is kind of horrendous, and we need to collect the income. Wait, does anything give us additional growth? Yeah, we can get empower the guilds. And I think we could do that now because the public order isn't as critical. So yeah, we'll start with Masters of Stone and Steel. We'll get rid of the Dwarf Tinkerer's Shop and replace it with a Gorl mine. And we will... We already have Masters of Stone and Steel here, so that's fine. This place is growing in public order. And it's already in Masters of Stone and Steel, but we can upgrade both of those locations as needed. This place is also now growing in public order, so we can collect the money even if it isn't a lot. It was more before Trutch arrived. But that was always bound to happen. Alright, diplomacy check and then end turn. Burning Wind Nomads want a non-aggression pact. Well, why not? Let's hope that they survive. More Cathayan allies means potential drum units. And Barakvar wants a military alliance, and that confederation is still a possibility, but I think not worth it as yet. We'll keep an eye on them, though. Also, how are our grudges looking? Now might be a good time to confederate Grimbrindle, because while this will completely screw over our income, it will also, the negative control will at least be partially counteracted by the bonus from the quest. And we did want to get Gromby up and running as fast as possible. Alright, we're at 3.3k. Let's see what this gives us. Confederate. Alright, there it is. There's that Confederation debuff. The control, and we're minus 8k. Alright, so hopefully we can deal with that. Eagle Peak secured. There's that Consider Confederation. What do we have here? Well, it does seem to be in a reasonably safe territory. Kislevites nearby. We've got the Tower of Crack having been taken by King Lun's Stout Peak here. Lots of King Luns everywhere. They're all kings and they're all Luns. I mean, this seems like a fairly good territory. There is a very highly valued here, a very highly valued territory here at Krakar-Ravensvak, so that we should probably move towards. I would like you not to get the plague, if at all possible. And we're not fighting any of these guys, but they would also probably have a very difficult time actually getting up there. I'm not sure why you're here, but you'll probably want to trade some of these units between you and Grimbrindle. Speaking of Grimbrindle, he has his unique line, and the AI, of course, has just completely destroyed his unique stuff. Now, let me just see here. So this is Lord's army buffs. If I recall correctly, he was supposed to have some kind of faction-wide buffs. Or does he not have those anymore? Grimnir's Resolve, that's Lord income from mining camp stance. Oh, that might be interesting. Lord's Army, Time of the Ancestors doesn't help us. This is all for Lord's Army, although, ooh, extra armor piercing damage, that's nice. He likes Dwarf Engineers, Iron Drakes, and War Machines, don't we all? Vigor loss reduction, defending bonuses, anti-ambush stuff. Maybe it's this stuff that I was thinking of. It's just control for all provinces. There's not anything crazy faction-wide-wise. We still should go for his unique line, especially considering... Well, Grimnir's heirs is a bit of a waste since he wants to buff up the war machines and stuff. Alright, fair enough. So, I assume you can't reach here? No. You got a fairly decent army. I wonder, can Thunderers be evolved into Iron Drakes and Thunderers with Grudge Breakers? They can. Wait, you can evolve a regular Thunderer into a Flamethrower Iron Drake, but not a Trollhammer Twerp. Kind of makes sense, and you also have a Gyrocopter with Brimstone guns, alright. I guess to join these armies together, we'll need to move them closer and then figure out what units we want to delete and what units we want to keep. We will, however... Wait, do we have a lord to replace you with? We do not, at least without paying. Oh, we do have another Overseer. All right, fine. We will reset you. We'll get the Overseer, and then we'll delete the Overseer, but we'll still use the Overseer in a little bit. All right. Mads map. I'm not risking it this time. Let us reset your skill points, sir. Like so. And then we'll get the Overseer. That'll mean we're going bankrupt, so we'll have to... Okay, where's the Overseer here?
Summon me if you...
We'll have to fix that. The money, I mean. I mean, we could get rid of the regular miners here, that we're not going to use them. Granted, we could turn them into miners with blasting charges as a sort of main line, but we have enough right now, so let's do this. Ooh, we have a regular hammer unit on you. 450 gold for the one. And we have to keep you here, assuming that we want to keep the Tower of Karak, and we'll probably move down here as well. Oh, also, are you going to be friendly with us? Let's do this. Non-aggression pact. And get some bear cav. Potentially. Barakvar, everything else is fine. We'll hopefully get another quest up and running. Oh, we could be set with the Talkmars for money. Yeah, let's take that. The Western provinces won't be too happy about it, but we don't really care. It's not going to be enough of an issue for us to be concerned with. Alright, and there we go. Where are the Cornate provinces that we have to move towards? We're not technically at war with them, so this isn't super critical, so we could just move past all this and then... just hope that this army doesn't get attacked, just to join these armies together faster. We want to basically make this all into one army rather than two. And, oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Damn, Iber Storyteller, good chance he declares war on us, so you, well, if you die, but you're gonna have to go into non-aggression stance, or non-march stance, that's the one. Interesting. And I think that's it. Alrighty, let's skip commandment available. Oh yes, we will go for the, I guess, venerate the ancestors. We'll keep it there for now. We'll build the obsidian quarry here as well. Immediately, just for the potential trade goods. I don't like the fact that these are negative corruption, negative control, but I think we'll keep them around rather than invest in it. At least for a little bit. I wonder if any of these are rearguard lords. You're vengeful, which means we might actually keep you, and then what are you? You are also vengeful, huh? All the guys with Grimbrindle are vengeful. Go figure. Alright, sounds good to me. Let's end the turn. Let's see what happens after all this. I did everything, right? I think I did. It's starting to get confusing. Alright.
For the surety of your life.
Alrighty, and as expected, Zazel will declare war on us, probably looking to wipe King Lund's army out. Well, at the end of the day, even if it does die, it's not going to be a huge issue, considering we'll get the bonus, cash from it, so it's fine. We have too many armies right now, anyway. And are they going to attack? They are indeed. Well, oh, and Azazel himself is here. Wait, if we back off, will they both be able to follow? They will. Well, it is what it is. Let's do a nice little last stand fight for these guys. They unfortunately got confederated in a bad position. Their own problem, I suppose. Alrighty, here we go. Last stand of this little army, which should be pretty fun. And oh, I noticed that we got Feral Rage on us, which is not so great. Meaning, as soon as our units start to take damage, they'll start rampaging, and that includes our range units as well. Also, now that I think about it, maybe Grimbrindle's faction-wide buffs are in his blue line rather than his unique line. I think maybe that's the case. Somebody please remind me to check his blue line. I'm almost completely sure that's where it was now. Whatever, I'll check as soon as he's back up and running. Anyway, now, obviously we can't win this fight. It's not really possible. Okay, that's not entirely true. We could win this fight by cheesing the battle and corner camping, but as you guys know, I really don't like to do that because, I don't know, I just don't find it fun. I don't really see the point. So, fighting this fight legitimately, we don't really have a way to win it, which means we have specific goals here, and the goals are thus. us. We can't chase anybody down, but what we can do is make sure the demonic units, which melt away if they take sufficient damage, are actually killed off. So our targets will be Azazel himself as the priority target, since he's demonic, and then followed by the Furies and the Demonettes of Slaanesh, which are already hurt, the full HP Furies, and then if we can manage it, the Chariots as well. They're probably going to be a little bit difficult to catch, though they would be priority targets if we survive that long as well. We do have a unit of Grudge Settler Slayers here after all, and with Cavalry Bane, if we can get them to hit the Chariots, if they're not busy with something else, should be decent. And I'm going to speed this up while we move towards the enemy. We're going to do sort of a half dwarf box. We just don't have enough units to fully sort of envelop the rest of our army. Plus, we needed to leave enough room for our range units to be able to fire. I did say that Azazel would be our main target here, and they're all going to focus him as best they can, ignoring all the enemy units creeping up on our flanks. Hopefully we can fire away at him long enough before we are forced to engage. Alrighty, and the fact that we got 2 free Thunderers in this army works out reasonably well for us. Azazel has already lost about half of his HP, and we'll just keep thundering away, hopefully until he's brought down. He's getting a Lash of Slaanesh through our line, but luckily it doesn't do enough damage to force anybody into Rampage. And Azazel's down to about 15% of his HP, and just this alone will be worth it, as we will be able to, by the looks of it, bring him down. Beautiful. Alright, and just as he falls, the rest of the enemy army moves on in, meaning we might not be able to achieve all that much more with our range units, as the Furies have arrived, though now them coming down like this is potentially a good thing in the sense that it'll be hopefully easier to actually go after them with our other units. Unfortunately, we are having to use the Grudge Settler Slayers to keep the enemy Chaos Warhounds back. But fortunately, the Furies are reasonably fragile units, and even the Miners and Dwarf Warriors surrounding them together should be pretty good. The Lash of Slaanesh will be followed up first by a Penumbral Pendulum, and second by a Searing Doom, which pretty much destroys 1 unit of Miners. And it does look like the enemy have engaged our Thunderers, unfortunately, so there isn't too much we can do about that. That said, we are focusing down the enemy Demonettes, which are down to about 5% of their HP. They're still not melting away. Okay, there they go. They've started melting away. And it looks like another unit will be done for. One of the Furies is done, and then this one is still at about half HP, so we're going to try our best to focus this one down next. Of course, it means ignoring a lot of the enemy, and yeah, by the looks of it, the Chariots are just not going to happen. Alrighty, well, yeah, they took about 30% of their damage, but they haven't lost any models, so it's just super unlikely. The Bats, or the Furies, are melting away, but so is, by the looks of it, our army. Our Thane is terrified and running away with 100% essentially HP. Dwarf Warriors running with 100% HP. Artillery routing with 70%. Yeah, and our Lord is routing with, what, 80% of his HP? That's not good. It looks like our army might break just due to units getting terrified off field. On the bright side, we did achieve most of what we wanted to do, other than the Chariots, but that would have been a nice bonus. And yeah, it looks like our army's just going to shatter, unfortunately, and only the Grudge Settler Slayers will remain while the rest of the army shatters. Well, these guys are unbreakable. They sought their doom, and, well, that's what they're going to find here. Trying to make their way towards the Slaaneshi Chariots, but I just don't see them being able to actually destroy them, unfortunately. Not to worry, you will be avenged by Grimbrindle when he has returned to the fray. And once I've checked his blue line. Because I remember the reason I wanted to confederate Grimbrindle first was because last time I played he had faction-wide buffs, so it must be his blue line. And if it is in fact, and anybody was yelling at their monitor, you'll probably be used to it at this point. Alrighty, and it looks like the last of the Grudge Settlers, or the Slayers, are just about overrun. But at the very least, for the Slayers, it was a pretty epic doom. Alrighty, and there they go. Poor little army got confederated in the worst possible position, and I suppose it could have survived if I hadn't moved it, but at the same time, it was so costly, and our money situation got obliterated by the Confederation, so not much we could do about it anyway, or it's not a huge loss. Alright, there we go. Decent little last stand fight for this army, and we went in there looking to destroy as many of the demonic units as we could, and we destroyed 2 Chaos Furies, well, pretty much all the demonic units with the exception of the Seeker Chariots, including Azazel. One of the Chaos Furies will come back due to Demons Reforged, but, well, we got most of the demons, which I'm reasonably happy about, and the fact that they managed to bring down Azazel means the army did not shame itself in the eyes of the ancestors, in my opinion, though admittedly they did rout at like 70% of their HP remaining due to all the units being terrified and such, which was a little bit disappointing because I expected them to fight a little bit longer, down at least to, I don't know, half HP, but it is what it is. Yeah, a bit of a shame to lose the Grudge Settler Slayers, but at the end of the day it's only one unit, and it's probably the one that's the least biggest deal of them, so not a huge deal, at least until we get a Slayer army, which will be in a bit. Anyway. Alright, hey, Togmar's eliminated, which means it was a good idea to allow them to pay us 4,000 gold for peace. Now, you're not going to be able to reach Drippenfang's camp, unfortunately, but that's alright. United again. Wait, who was united against us? A moment. I don't know. That here? Oh, here it is. Oh, it's the Varg. Okay, that's fine. Aren't they the vassal of Azazel anyway? So that hardly matters. Dragonback Slayer is unlocked, which would be nice. I see these guys still haven't attempted to sally, yeah, but that works out decently well for us. Just keep building towers and get ready to move on in once the heroes move in. Now, the important thing is this. So Grimbrindle will be back in, what, 3 turns unless I'm mistaken? 2 turns now. You are going to go into your stance like so. Alright, and we'll have to figure out, we'll basically have 1 full stack and then we'll start moving down here. We don't really care about the Tower of Karak, at least not right now. We'll take it back rather shortly with a full stack, but we really need to fix our money situation, so that'll still be the case. We can also build deeps here because we have a Goldsmith's Guild Hall, and ooh, we will definitely need another Runesmith here. Unhinged. Oh, we can reduce the Runesmith's cost by using ancillaries. Wait, 4? What do you mean, wait. Oh, we can get Thanes now, which is nice. Coordinated Carnage and Aryan come from post-battle loot. Base value for Dwarfs is 0%. Accompanying Lord. Yeah, thanks for letting us know. And we could get... Wait, what? Oh, both of these guys have that. Character will share. Ooh, it's a teacher. Okay, we definitely want Yuan Field. 20% extra hit points. Thank you, Tanky. All right, we'll have to figure out one of those. But you know what? I think we'll figure that out. We'll figure that out next time because I think we're out of time. That's probably the best time to call it here. Frankly, Grimbrindle gave us a nice province, and oh, we got gems here, so we'll probably want to get rid of the. I guess start by getting rid of the Trinket Maker. I'm not sure. And we'll build that up. But anyway, it's difficult, or it would be rather difficult for the enemies to attack us because they have to loop around like this. We still have to watch out for it, but it is in a pretty decent, defensible location. This Forbidden Citadel will probably have to guard against the Legion of Chaos and stuff, who will probably raise, but for now, obviously, we got to deal with Azazel and all of this stuff around, and then maybe give Boris Ursus the territory and the Chaos Wastes. Would actually be nice if we got the territory that he's currently in, but I'd rather keep him alive. Anyway, next time we'll be looking to continue the fight against, well, everybody around us. Clan Mordkin and the Drippenfangs and Trutch Craventail. Hopefully, he's staying at Drippenfang's camp instead of moving northward towards Gorehornet's Hold, as we have nobody there. But if he is, we, I suppose, could summon a couple of Grudge Settler units in order to defend against him if he tries that. And Joseph of Zorn will get his own Grudge Settler unit and then set out to maybe take Gribble Town by himself. with the fire units, as we've seen, they should be able to hold decently well. Anyway, pretty darn fun campaign so far, and I'm expecting the fun to continue for quite a bit, so stay tuned for more Dowie. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below, especially a threshold for the longer episodes. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.